Hey, everybody, welcome again. The cybersecurity defense ecosystem is the name of the place. And we've got here Scott Frew. He's the CEO of a company called iAsset. And they've just recently joined and become one of our partners. And they've got an amazing platform that every MSP is going to want to leverage. And what does this do? Let's find out. Scott, welcome. What do you do?
Thanks, Julian. Well, we're a platform that helps service providers with product life cycles and tracking install base to ultimately give them a revenue boost as well as reducing cost out of their business so that they can move people off to do more exciting things.
When I looked at this platform, I was thinking like, wow, I mean, I can't believe that it does this much. But at the end of the day, what it really does, it takes all your SaaS vendors, puts it in the system, takes your data, combines the two, and it basically does automatic billing, but also renewals and management. So give us a bit of the overview. So as an MSP,
Sure.
I got vendors. What happens?
Let's talk about strategy for a start. So all of the service providers have to look at things like net new, expand and extend, renewals, and ultimately end of life. So it doesn't have to just be SaaS vendors. There can be hardware and maintenance in there. It can be large scale software, whatever it is that they're transacting. So the first part is, and there's plenty of interviews on the internet that I talk about Ray Kroc being I'm a huge fan of Ray Kroc because it's all about the fries and the Coke with the burger, right? So you've sunk your cost in the burger. You want to make sure you're getting all of the fries, the upsell, the cross sell, whatever it is. So making that as systemic and as easy to do as possible. Then once you've done that, send it straight into your ERP once you've accepted the order. So you remove sales order entry teams. So that's a huge cost saving for many of our customers. And we wait for the ERP to tell us that it's been invoiced and any of the related information like serial numbers or start and end dates of contracts, contractual information and such. Now you've got an install base. And once you've got install base, you can launch a number of revenue generating activities off that. The first one being expand. Expand's all about if I've sold a whole lot of security product A, I want to sell more modules for security product A, or extend, which is I've sold security product A, but there's a natural partnership with security product B. I want to add a campaign to target those particular customers. And the difference between a marketing campaign and what we're doing is we can individually select people inside the install base based on the product profiles they have and regions, etc., rather than just broadcast marketing to everybody in that customer base. Then you move to renewals, and we always say if you're renewing, everything else has failed. You haven't been able to expand, upgrade, whatever it is. So you want to automate that as much as possible. Take all of the quoting work out of the hands of your people. You might still have some of your bigger deals managed by people, but the quoting is already done. And then the last part is surrender. So it's, I'm not sure what it's like in Canada. The US is a little bit behind, but Europe now, ESG is a massive issue. So tracking the recycling of components coming back or products that can be reused again is becoming one of the top reasons people are using install-based data at the moment. So if you think in terms of all of those four, and it doesn't matter, as I said, soft services, SaaS, hardware, maintenance, whatever it is, it manages the entire product lifecycle. It makes your ERP smarter. It makes, if you're still using CRMs, it makes your CRM smarter, but it's really an automation piece. And your outcome should be at least a 4-to-1 cost saving in operations. And I've got customers that have doubled their revenue because they've never run expand or extend campaigns before.
Amazing. Well, Scott, you had me at just SaaS. That was just big enough for me. So at the end of the day, right, this is a whole business strategy for your company. And when you really peel back this onion, it's not just about efficiencies and productivities and doing things better with, less and so on. It's really about increasing your valuation of your business, right? And
Absolutely.
it's a massive competitive advantage, right? That means you could do a lot more clients with a lot less heavy lifting. And at the end of the day, no matter what we try to do in this world, right, it's pretty difficult to figure out what else do I need to sell this customer. It's not that easy. And now with the technologies like this, the system helps you to, light up, if you will, the roadmap. So you're seeing that people are sort of doubling the revenue that much?
Yep. Well, even during COVID, if you look at the COVID example,
Mhm.
People couldn't get new sales done because everyone was locked down. So I had
Yeah.
customers making almost as much money out of expand and extend campaigns to make their technologies work better than they were out of renewals, right? So there's all these different avenues you can attack. But to get back to your valuation point, especially if you're a guy like me who builds companies, you want to add as much value to the equity as you can for when that acquisition happens or that equity event. If you have all of your install base data, it actually increases, and I think it's 3 or 4x multiple, because the company that's acquiring you knows that you've got everything around your customer base rather than you're just a quoting machine. And although you
Mm.
might have ITSM type support desks, this is revenue generation, not just support ticketing, etc. So it's a different way to build a business and give you, as we discussed before, control of your own destiny.
I mean, it's for me, it just seems like the only way to build a business. It's the smarter way for sure. I mean, traditionally, right, MSPs may think, you know what, I'm gonna just keep all the transactional stuff in some marketplace. Maybe they keep it in some distribution, infrastructure, which is cool, right? But you have less control over that moving forward,
Well,
and you want
yeah.
to have everything, within your house.
So let me talk about the threat side of this particular example. So if you are allowing a distributor to run your product life cycles, or let's just say renewals, and they decide that you're not the reseller for them anymore, they can holistically shift that renewals base off to another partner. If you've got control of it, you can shift distributor. I've had examples where very, very large organizations, including when I owned a distributor, we had a shift in vendor profile. So we turned off renewals and turned on upgrade campaigns to cross-sell to another vendor because we weren't representing that vendor anymore. So it's very, very important as a MSP owner to value how much is in that data so that if there is a threat to your business, you can take action rather than, well, I don't have the data to take the action with.
I mean, it's just, again, it's just simply smarter business. One of the things as well is that as an MSP, right? Or, VAR, you've got your vendors, and vendors want to know, did you have a hold on your customers? But it's not just, your customers and where where they're located, but also the renewals. They want to make sure that you're taking care of the renewals, but also these vendors are adding new companies, right? They're adding new products. They're buying companies. They want to go back and say, look, how do we go after the customers you've got installed for these products I sold you? How do we upgrade them to these new products we acquired or new functionality they added? And there's a very efficient way for them to sort of like help their vendors also expand within their portfolio, right?
Absolutely. I was only on a call just before this with one of the security vendors in North America, and their whole focus is on expand at the moment. They've got renewals and that's all sorted, but expand is there. They've got billions of install base sitting out there in the field, and some of it is aging, and you don't want aging security products, right? With all the cyber threats that are going on today.
Quite interesting. So the way we were going to work for this is that give me a bit of an overview of how an onboarding sort of work, 10-mile high overview for an MSP.
Yep.
An MSP comes in, I want to jump in. What's that experience like to onboard?
So the first challenge they'll face is they've never collected install base data before. So in the experience we've had with especially the North American set is they'll go to their vendors, the distributors, most of the distributors don't have it. So they'll go to the vendors and try and get as much of their install base or the data points as they can. What we say to our customers is don't worry about cleaning the data. Let's just load it as is, because the platform will clean as you go. And instead of trying to clean, say, 10,000 or 100,000 records, you put it in and then clean a few hundred a day. And the
Mm.
platform has some abilities to clean that data as you go. Once you've collected that data, you load it up, you start ingesting price lists. So we can ingest any distributor price list on the planet and vendor price lists. We've got some vendors who have 7 different global price lists. The platform understands that. It understands what services can be deployed in a particular country or region. And then you start the platform up. Now, I'm abridging some professional services where my team will help handhold a team getting on, but they'll have their logos on an invoice, a quote out the door. They'll have all of the process set with ERP. So whether you're running NetSuite or Oracle, SAP, or even we've got MYOB customers, you know, right down at the bottom tier. And then we start up. And, you know, we're not one of these push buttons and tomorrow you're going to get instant results. I always say if you're really in a 12-month cadence for products, then it's 12 months and 1 day is when the full value comes on, because you've now got clean data. The platform's now going to start generating its own quotes. And you know, I've been playing with this whole data-driven quoting piece rather than people-driven quoting. So try and get as much of that load done. But 12 months and 1 day, it accelerates out of there. And once you're on that other side of that, I've seen our customers really respond incredibly well to their customer base. And now I have customers that are selling that as a service. So don't worry, Mr. Customer or Mrs. Customer, or they, them customer. We'll manage all of your install base. It doesn't matter which service provider you buy from. We'll charge you, but we'll look after it and make sure your security products are up to date and they're renewed and they're current.
Reminds me of a story, man. It's like the best time to plan a treatment maybe was 12 months ago. The next best time is like now. Don't wait.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
I just see this as a mind shift in the way MSPs and VARs run their business. You need to control your destiny, and your destiny is your, you know, they are your customers, right? And the more you know about the customers, the more you can do things with. And you know, asking your vendors for your customers may sound a little bit, you know, out there, but it's your customers, and so they should give it to you. So start the ball rolling, get your customers into the system, get the data, get it moving, and then you shall see the value moving forward. I'll leave you with some last words, Scott. What do you want these channel partners to know? Why now is the time they need to do this?
So my philosophy on life is whenever times are economically difficult or challenging is the best time to invest, because you've got a lot less noise around you. You can focus on the job at hand. And really what you're trying to do is structure the business so that when the next uptick happens, you can fully milk the profits that are available out there. I mean, that's what we're all here to do, right? Is make profit at the end of the day. And if you're a channel partner of any description, you can't put prices up, you don't invent new technology. What you do is supply an existing set. So there's only two ways you can make more money. You can either reduce your cost base to do it or increase prices, which as I've detailed, you can't do because you've got competitors and all the rest of it. So if I was there, and I've been through the GFC and the dot bomb, and I tripled, I mean, my distribution business tripled during the GFC on this platform originally, because I went to invest mode rather than panic and fire everybody mode.
It's great advice. And I just add that you know, this is really about your business valuation and your profitability as well, productivity, all those wonderful things, but your business valuation first. I think it also is going to serve your customers better, because when you know more about your customers, this land and expand sounds like a, you know, marketing gig, but in reality, what you're doing is you're helping your customers to do better, right, in their, you know, technology field. And at the same time, I think that never underestimate how much energy it takes for a human to be burnt out. I mean, it takes a lot of energy, and what these things do is streamline that process so that they're not doing, you know, mundane tasks and redundant things, and leave the humans to do the smart stuff, right? And so there's so many little check boxes you can go after here that it just sort of makes sense that it becomes part of your infrastructure. So they've got PSAs and they've got other platform tools. You know, they should make this as one of the platforms. All the links are going to be in there to check it out. Just sign up, get going, and the team is going to take care of it. Scott, keep up the great work, man. I think this is a really great opportunity for everybody.
Thanks, Julian. Appreciate it. Thanks for your time.